Glance Technologies owns and operates Glance Pay, a disruptive mobile payment technology now live in 16 cities in Canada and about to launch in the US. With revenues up 664% in the last quarter, Glance Technologies has the potential to be a worldwide leader in an industry projected to grow to $1.3 trillion in 3 years. Glance Technologies stock symbols are GLNFF in the US and GET in Canada. Find out more at glancepay.com.
Welcome to the Goddard Report. Comments made on the Goddard Report and TalkDigitalNetwork.com are an expression of opinion only. Here is Jim Goddard.
My guest is Sharon Noble. She's the director of the BC Coalition to Stop Smart Meters. Welcome back to the show, Sharon.
Thank you very much, Jim.
Has anybody reacted to the monstrous, when I say monstrous, a very lengthy report you did linking smart meters to fires in British Columbia?
Not a soul. It's been a month and a half now, and I haven't heard one word, not even an acknowledgement of receipt, from any of the NDP people that I sent it to, nor to Sonia Fustino from the Green Party. Nobody. The BCUC said that they'd received it and had sent it to BC Hydro for comments. I've received nothing there. It's very, very frustrating because it seems that the NDP, Premier Horgan, all of them, Energy Minister Mungle, the Infrastructure and Transportation Minister, Trevina, who is in charge of the Fire Commissioner's office, they all just want to sweep it under the rug and pretend it didn't exist. And I am hoping that people will help put pressure on these people, because lives and property should be taking precedent over some of the other things that they're talking about right now. I know they're busy. They've just taken over the government, but they knew about these problems for the last 3 or 4 years. They can't say that this is new to them. It isn't. The only thing that's new is that I've published a report with documentation, 600 pages of evidence, and everyone is choosing to ignore it.
Does that, if they're aware of a certain problem and it goes on to cause either property damage or harm to humans, including loss of life, could they be held liable for that damage?
It's a good question, Jim, and I'm not sure. There are cases where people have been held liable for willful negligence, and I believe that that's this case. What we need to do is to be able to directly connect a fire where with the smart meter, with full evidence from an insurance company, from a fire inspector, from the electrical inspection company, and send it to the NDP, to the energy minister, and charge them with willful negligence. They now have it in writing, in great detail. They have it from engineers explaining what is happening, why these things are dangerous. So they can't say they didn't know. They can only say they don't care.
Now, you've pointed out in other articles that you've published that people are warning there's going to be a slew of lawsuits concerning smart meters. Could this be just the start of the tidal wave if this happens? Yes,
I think so. I think there'll be lawsuits with regard to many aspects of the smart meters and other wireless devices as well. Lawsuits are beginning to occur around the world with regard to health issues. And I think that the smart meters are especially vulnerable to lawsuits because they cause so many problems. Not only are they dangerous from a health point of view, not only are they fire hazards, but they are the entryway for hackers. So once people start having their private data hacked, or there is a major cybersecurity breach that is traced to smart meters, there will be lawsuits. It's just a matter of time. These things serve no purpose. And I really think that another source of a lawsuit is the fact that our money has been spent on something that provides no benefit. And all the way along the line, we've been given a bill of goods. The facts are being hidden. We aren't being told what the costs are, what the actual costs are, and what the ongoing and future costs will be. The lifespan of these meters is very short, as we've discussed before. Where are these costs going to be? Are our rates going to continue to climb exponentially just to pay for these things? I believe that will be the case. And when people can no longer afford to pay for their electricity, and each winter I get emails and phone calls from people who can't afford to pay for their electricity bills. They've skyrocketed over the last 3 to 4 years, and there are more increases on the way. What happens when people die because they've had their electricity turned off? I don't know, Jim, but I do believe that there will be a spate of lawsuits, yes?
We'll have more with Sharon Noble right after the break.
I'm Larry Ray, President and CEO of American Manganese, Inc., listed on the TSX Venture, ticker symbol AMY, A-M-Y, with proprietary patents in the U.S., China, and South Africa. Our focus is on recycling lithium-ion batteries for electric vehicles. China recently legislated the responsibility for recycling onto their electric vehicle manufacturers and importers. For more information, please visit AmericanManganeseInc.com or phone me, Larry Ray, at 778-574-4444.
Arctic Star Exploration, operated by a team of proven mine finders, is focused on diamonds in Finland and the Northwest Territories of Canada. A work program is planned for our Finland property that contains diamond-bearing kimberlite. Arctic Star trades on the TSX Venture Exchange, symbol ADD, and the Frankfurt Exchange, symbol 82A1. Please visit our website at arcticstar.ca or call us at 604-689-1799.
Welcome back. We're speaking with Sharon Noble. What's another angle you thought about with smart meters and lawsuits?
The fact is that our winter is coming, and during the winter we have major storms, windstorms. In fact, in Victoria right now we're having a major windstorm. When trees go down and power lines are brought down, there will be power surges that go into homes. Just as happened in Stockton, California, and in Summerland, British Columbia, and in other places, smart meters will blow. They will explode. They will arc. They will cause fires. We now know this. We've got this documented. Itron smart meters are not fused. The analogs did have a way of stopping a power surge. These things don't. So when there is a power outage, a sudden power outage, such as in a windstorm, and smart meters blow off your homes and cause fires, there should be some lawsuits. The only thing that I believe right now is preventing such lawsuits, because things like this are happening, is that the insurers are paying the complete claim. Then the insurers are subrogating the claim against hydro and are being compensated. So there is no loss. The homeowner has his claim paid. The insurer is compensated. But then, sadly, the insurers increase the premiums for the homeowners to compensate. Once some of these claimants say, no, I'm not going to allow you to subrogate. I'm going to get the information and I'm going to fight this on my own. Perhaps there'll be some more lawsuits.
You're saying there's been a major victory for people against RF radiation in California. Can you maybe explain that?
Not against RF radiation, it's against microcells. And specifically, it's about the right-of-way upon which these microcells are being placed, and the municipal rights to be able to have some say and to control where these microcells are being sited. In California, they were going to be putting in thousands. I think the number was something like 50,000 microcells on poles outside people's homes. The same type of microcells they're putting in British Columbia right now. And they weren't doing it with any notification, with any approval, or with any input from the municipalities. These are cell towers that are being put on our property that the municipalities own. And the fight was to be able to say no. We don't want them. Whether it's for aesthetics, whether it's because people are concerned about health issues, we don't want these on our property. Now, the legislators passed the bill, not by a large margin, but it was passed, and it sat on Governor Brown's desk for signing. He had the power to veto or to approve, and he vetoed it just a couple of days ago. So this is now over and done with in California, unless the legislators can get 2/3 of the people in the public office to approve it, and that's to override it, and that's not likely to happen. We need to have the same sort of uprising here in British Columbia. There is an access to the microcell, access to right-of-ways, I believe is the term of the agreement, that was written. There's a template written by the Federation of Canadian Municipalities in conjunction with the CRTC, in which it says that there is supposed to be an agreement, a contract with the local communities about where these are sited. And as far as I know, this isn't happening. TELUS is supposed to be not only providing a plan, they're supposed to be involving the municipalities in their planning. And if the municipality says, no, we don't want these close to homes, you can put them someplace else, but not close to homes. This is a consideration that the telecommunications industry is supposed to take, is to be aware of. They're supposed to negotiate it. They're supposed to consult. This is what California says must happen. And that's a major victory. This is the second major victory against the telecommunications in California in the last couple of months. The first one was Berkeley's Right to Know Act, which went through all sorts of court battles and was finally approved by the Court of Appeals. The Supreme Court of the United States can still override it, but this has gone through several litigations and has been approved. So this will be a tough battle for the industry. But it said simply that when people go to buy a cell phone, there should be something handed out, a label on the phone, a brochure, a pamphlet available for them to read, saying basically what's in the phone manuals, that these things should not be on your body, and that there are risks to children and to pregnant women. So these are two major victories for California.
We'll have more with Sharon Noble right after this.
I'm Brian Fowler, president of Blind Creek Resources Limited, listed on the TSX Venture Exchange, ticker symbol BCK. Blind Creek is focused in the Yukon, Northwest Territories, and British Columbia. The company's key property is the Blend Project, one of the largest undeveloped lead-zinc-silver deposits in Western Canada, plus plans to advance the recently acquired, fully permitted historic engineered gold mine in the Atlan District of Northwestern BC. Check us out at blindcreekresources.com.
In Goddard we trust.
Welcome back. We're speaking with Sharon Noble. Sharon, again, you were worried about North Korea's hacking ability. Apparently, they're a whole lot smarter than so many people gave them credit for. No one thought they'd have atomic bombs now. No one thought they'd have hydrogen bombs by now. Are they a major threat as well to our electrical grid because of the lack of security on smart meters?
Lack of security not only on smart meters, but all along the way. According to an article in the New York Times this week, it says that North Korea's cyber attack ability has increased significantly, and they've got thousands of people devoted to being able to hack into various systems. It is thought that this is a country that can access and has accessed banks, the New York trading system, the stock market. They have been attacking all sorts of infrastructures, and they believe that they are preparing to cause havoc in our electrical grid. There has been talk from North Korea not only about hacking, but causing what is called an electrical event. If they put, for instance, a bomb up, hundreds of miles up in the air, it could knock, and they exploded it, a nuclear bomb, they could knock out our electrical grid. They wouldn't have to just hack it and put a virus in it or something like that. They can knock it out. And the very frustrating and concerning thing is that people in the U.S. and Canadian government have been aware of this for years. James Woolsey, for instance, when he was director of the CIA, warned that the electrical grid was very vulnerable, and it was becoming more vulnerable, and it was with all the wireless entry points, and it was just a matter of time before we were brought back into the dark ages. We can look to see what's happening in Puerto Rico. What happens to those people down there when they don't have any electricity? Medicine, food, water, communications, everything is impossible. This is what will happen if we don't make sure that our grid is safe. And I believe that it's time where we start writing, not only, we've been writing to our MPs, we've been writing to all sorts of other people, but there is a department, that's vested with a responsibility to protect our security and for emergency measures. And the minister is Ralph Goodale, and he should be informed about this. He should be held responsible for making sure that our grid is safe. There are things that can be done, but we're just making it more and more vulnerable by hooking up more and more through the internet, using wireless devices everywhere. The smart meter is the easiest entry point into our grid, according to many of the experts. And nothing, as far as I know, everything that I've read, and I've been trying to find information, nothing is being done in either the United States or Canada about this. And if they bring down one portion of the grid, it's very likely that the rest of us will suffer the consequences.
Sharon, you're also concerned about an article that might link cell phones to heart disease?
There have been new studies, and this one is pondering the risk of the link between the proliferation of wireless devices and microwave radiation with the unexplained increase in heart disease. There seems to be almost a parallel increase between the two. And they're finding that people without any family history, who are otherwise healthy, they're not obese, they exercise, they do all the right things, their cholesterol's under control, are having heart attacks. And they can't figure out why. The only explanation that is coming up by this team that is doing the research is that there is a relationship between the increase in unexplained heart disease and exposure to microwave radiation. We all know that our hearts are electrical. Many people suffer atrial fibrillation, palpitations, arrhythmias when exposed to wireless devices. We've seen this. If you go on the internet and Google Magda Havas and atrial fibrillation and cordless phones or Wi-Fi modems, you will see where she shows that there are direct connections with healthy people between exposure to wireless modems and cordless phones and our irregular heartbeats and rhythms. So this is something that's being investigated now. And the study that I sent out in my update is sounding alarms. They haven't proven for sure a direct connection, but the information is pointing that way.
Sharon, anything else you wanted to bring up today?
Yeah, I would like to tell people that, the NDP convention is going to be held in Victoria at the Convention Center on November 3rd, 4th, and 5th. We have a resolution that's going to be presented saying that we want to have the smart meters and the financial relationships and the costs and whatever inspected, investigated. We want people there to lend their voices. We won't have a table. We were not allowed to have a table. But we are asking people to come, stand outside, bring your signs, bring your voices. This is an opportunity for us to show the politicians who are in charge that we have concerns not only about smart meters, but about microcells. We believe that we are being exposed to these dangerous devices, and the government is responsible. It's time that the NDP stood up and helped us, stood up for our rights, stood up for our health, and it's only through pressure from the public that anything will ever happen. If we are ignored, if we allow everything, like my fire report, to be brushed under the carpet, we will be subject to the results, to the consequences.
Sharon, thank you so much for chatting with us.
It's always my pleasure, Jim. Thank you.
My guest has been Sharon Noble, Director of the BC Coalition to Stop Smart Meters. Oh, by the way, Sharon, what's your website?
It is www.stopsmartmetersbc.com, and information on the NDP convention, on the fire report, everything is on that website.
Thanks again, Sharon.
Thank you.
I'm Jim Goddard. If you have any questions for us or our guests, you can email them to info@howstreet.com.
Comments made on the Goddard Report and TalkDigitalNetwork.com are an expression of opinion only. The Goddard Report is available online and mobile at TalkDigitalNetwork.com. The Goddard Report is a production of How Street Media Incorporated.